Yeah, it's super nice out today. I think this next week it's supposed to start getting a lot colder. I don't see any snow or anything like that or rain in the forecast, but it's going to get, I think, more down in the 30s next week. Hi, Stella. I miss Stella. So the girls stayed in their onesies. They have free roam for most part of the time when I'm at work. I've got cameras in my home, and so I can monitor throughout my work hours. Plus, I also live close to my job. So, but yesterday we had a little fiasco because they were a couple wild puppies, and Heidi got completely undressed, and Stella was about half undressed. So we had to go to onesies today. Helps a ton. They just get to playing and have a blast and pick at one another. I see the question about Heidi's wheelchair. Yes, or I mean, not Heidi, but Stella's wheelchair. Yes, we are still working in her wheelchair, mostly in the house. She actually does a little better in it in the house than she does outside. So we just go slow and steady at it. Plus, puppies are, their physical aspects are still really growing and deforming. So I also try to be careful about their joints and hips and things like that in the wheelchairs for too long of a period of time. So I've had some people ask about over the lunch hour why I keep them, or specifically Heidi, in diapers. And mainly it's because before I do the live video, I have fed them lunch. And so obviously since they're incontinent, then usually after they eat, they'll poop and things like that. And since Heidi's around the back step area so much, bouncing around, it just keeps the others and myself from stepping in little poo pebbles over the lunch hour, since I'm not here a real long amount of time. And I see the question about what's on the menu tonight. I don't know. I'm going to let Stella and Heidi work that out. I think Stella's wanting some type of encrusted baked chicken with cheese, tater tots and cheese, maybe something along that line. It's no telling. So we miss having Avery here. Avery has been here since she was about 9 weeks old and weighed about 4 pounds. And I think Avery's around 7 months old now. So she's been here a little bit. So we miss her. Pablo will be here tomorrow night in the later evening time. And then just a reminder that next weekend, actually next Friday, one of the little Frenchies that I'm rehoming will be dropped off here next Friday. And then her and Laney will leave on Saturday. The little Frenchie is going all the way to North Carolina to a new family, new to Opie's Rescue family. But Laney is going to stop off around the Nashville, Tennessee area. Her family lives in Alabama, and they're going to drive up to that area to pick her up. So Laney and the little Frenchie will leave next weekend. And then the Monday of the week of Christmas, little Heidi will leave. Her family will drive here from Kansas City and pick her up. And so Heidi will leave that day, and that will get me down to Stella, Bleu, and Pablo, and then my own 3. I have some company here the week of Christmas from North Carolina. It's Buddy and Noelle's family, and this will be the last Christmas they come here because they'll be moving to Maine in the spring. And so travel purposes with dogs and things won't be as easy. Yeah, just having 6 pups here from 9 or 10 doesn't seem like too many. We still have Diamond and Bailey and Foster in North Carolina, and they're both available for adoption. And then Jude is in Pennsylvania with Trooper's family being fostered, and I will be networking him for adoption later this month. And then Shrimp, the pit bull mix that's in the wheelchair that I'm helping Wags rescue with in Pennsylvania, is still available for adoption. What were you sneezing about, Stella? Huh? What are you sneezing about? And if you're just now joining, I'll post this video to my page shortly. I'm going to start getting everyone rounded back in so I can head back to work. And I also talked and did some updates on this video, so if you're just joining, when I post it to the page in a little bit, you can listen to those if you're interested. I also have a raffle going on some Bulldog gnomes and a couple of Bulldog Christmas figures. The tickets are $10, and there's still some tickets available. You can see the post on my page and the rescue page. And I see the question about Stella. I'll probably put Stella up for adoption in January sometime. I'm kind of watching her stools and then working with her in her wheelchair. She has a severe form of spina bifida, and it impacts them in the back end a lot more than like Heidi and some of the others. And so I've kind of learned over the last 9 years that I've done this, I've got to hold them out here just a little bit longer. I'm also monitoring her to make sure she doesn't start gnawing at her back paws because bulldogs with the type of spina bifida that she has that's more severe sometimes will have leg and paw sensations that cause them to gnaw at their paws, and sometimes they will chew parts of their feet off or cause them to bleed and injure themselves. So I want to make sure that we're not going to develop any of those problems. I've had that happen before, and I know Rachel with Lily's Pad has also. It's kind of a serious issue. I had one do it a few years ago that had to have his leg amputated. And he's a wheelchair pup and then has an amputee cup in his wheelchair. So I'm kind of monitoring Stella for that. I don't want to get her adopted out and then we have problems with that. Yes, that's what happened to McChewy and also Sawyer right now that's being fostered at My Bully Bouquet is having issues with that also. So I don't want to set up a family or a pup for failure with Stella in the event that she starts that. It's a pretty tedious, problematic situation. But so far, she's not doing it. I don't see any signs of it. And so far, so good. So I'm really just holding her to monitor her just to make sure that we don't get into a train wreck on something. And I don't want a family to not feel prepared. All right, hope everyone has a great day. Come on, Heidi.